everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Phoenix Generation podcast. I am your host today. My name is Samantha Romero. I am a UCF student, and I am a Ginsberg Phoenix Fellow. Here today, we have two guests. Please introduce yourselves.
My name is Nicole. I'm from Valencia College.
My name is Bryce Reed, and I'm from Lake Mary High School. I'm also a Kingsbury Phoenix Fellow.
And so is Nicole.
Yes.
Thank you guys for being here with us today.
Yes.
This episode, we are going to be playing a Phoenix Generation branded card game titled Speak Your Truth. And here it says, we are turning reflection into connection. So that should be exciting.
That's cool. Yeah.
Right. So a little bit about how this is going to work. No peeking. I'm going to kind of spread the cards open like so in my hand. And you're going to pick one card and then you're going to answer the prompt. So you got to be a quick thinker on your feet because you don't know what's coming for you.
Yes.
So I will start with Nicole. Pick a card, any card.
Do I read it?
Yes, please.
What is one thing you learned about growing up that you have changed your mind about? I think one thing I would say is that when you get adult, you see why your parents did something and then you kind of understand why they did it. So I kind of thank you them about them. Yeah. I change my point of view about it. Sometimes I say, oh, they're being so restrict. And I'll say, oh, thank you for being restrict. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I don't think that ever ends because my mom, who is older, she still says that. She's like, I understand why my mom did that. And now I have kids and now I get it. So I think it's just like a lifelong thing. Okay, cool. Bryce?
All right. So we got, are you skilled at solving problems in a team setting? What is your process? So I'd say I am pretty skilled at solving problems with any team that I'm in, just because I think ahead. Like I already see the problem before it's going to happen. And I really got that quality from just working on thinking ahead. And one game that really taught me that was chess. And I still play it till today. And in chess, if you ever play chess, you have to think 10 moves ahead, just in general, so you can predict what your opponent's going to do and eventually get checkmate, right? That's the goal. That really taught me how important it is to think in the future and envision something before it actually happens. So that's my process as well, just thinking about how to solve the problem, because when you get put under the pressure of a problem, like right at the moment, it's a lot harder for your mind to come up with a solution at that moment. So if you think about, if you think into the future, like if you try to prevent, I think it's called it's reaction and prevention. Like you want to work on prevention over reaction, right? So in working on prevention, you want to think ahead, and yeah, that whole system that I was talking about, pretty much. Yeah.
Beautiful. How do you balance your personal goals with the needs of the group? I kind of tend to see the whole thing. If someone has a different opinion, for example, than another one, I try to get them in a balance and like in a common sense. So I kind of try to do the same as my personal goals in the way that I try to fit my personal goals in the group setting. So yeah, that's kind of, I try to do to see a balance at similar points there.
So you value compromising in group settings?
Yeah. When I'm engaging something, this turns to be my personal life. Like I really put a forward on that. I kind of tend not to divide. Like, for example, work life, personal life is like, my goals are the same there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's cool you mentioned that. That's like a conflict resolution style, right? Like compromising?
Yeah, I tend to.
Yeah, you do. What about you, Bryce?
Yeah, like you're talking about aligning your goals with the goals of the group, right? And I agree. And the question asks something like how do you balance your personal needs with the needs of the group, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to put yourself first, and you have to put yourself first before you can help others. Coming into a group, you need to make sure that you are mentally okay and you can actually help other people before you actually help other people, right? If that kind of makes sense. So I agree with aligning your goals, and then also like making sure that you can actually participate in what the group is doing, because it's like a balance.
Yeah, I kind of believe that if you really want to solve a problem, you have to leave it. So you can, for example, you cannot solve a problem that you do not have the experience to be in that problem inside of that. So I believe if you want to really a group on our team to succeed, you really needs to be part of it. Like 100%. I think you have to have this personal experience, feeling it instead of just seeing it. Yeah.
And can you elaborate a little more on that? Like, what exactly do you mean?
Yeah. For example, instead of you just heard about something, for example, if you're an actress in a movie, you have to incorporate that person. So kind of you leave this person for days or weeks in order for you to perform that person. I believe the same for problems. Like you need to leave that problem to understand it from its beginning to how this escalate to be how it is now. Right now. So instead of just hearing or reading about, you need actually to be inside and live it. So experience for yourself. Okay. I think you have more insights for solving it. Not just solving it, for example, in a corporate way, like, oh, this is going to be better. Instead, you like actually see, for example, how a society is struggling with something, how those people are struggling with something, living their lives once instead of just in solving for like media or this kind of stuff. You really solve it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And
right, let's go up the edge. Next question. All right. So, are there spaces between your thoughts, or does your mind constantly run? Okay. So, I'd say my mind constantly runs. I like to sound like my mind is working at like a thousand like miles an hour, just because like I find myself as like a complex thinker, and I like to, it comes like back to like how I said like thinking ahead, because like I find that prevention is better than reaction, like I said before. But actually I've created spaces in my mind where like when I think about something, if I'm thinking about it too long, I have to like either create a solution or just like find a common ground like with myself and then like move on, because then that turns into analysis paralysis. And I don't move that way, because it's just like you get stuck and you don't know what to do, and it's like a whole system that you don't want to deal with. And it happens to a lot of people. So, I've created like ways. Creating space between my thoughts is one way that I found to get out of that paralysis kind of mentality where like you're stuck thinking about something for too long. So I struggle with it, but I found ways to combat it and become like a faster thinker. There's like that's all experience and like continuously doing it, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can admit I get paralysis too. I mean, when I think about something for too long, or when like you have an assignment to do, and like that's all you think about, but you're kind of like procrastinating, but it's making you more scared, and then you don't do it at all, or not maybe do it at all, but you keep on putting it off, and sometimes I don't do it at all. But I don't know, I definitely struggle with that too. Me personally, I don't have space between my thoughts. And that's a big problem for me. Like, I know Dr. Lula, she recommended me this meditation app that I have not yet tried. Sorry, Lula. I'm going to get to it. But I think I'm going to try that. And if you guys are interested, I'll send it to you. But I need to create space between my thoughts. It's just like a constant go.
What is the name of that?
That's a really good question. I have to look at it on my phone again. But I will definitely forward it to you guys. But Nicole, how do you feel about that prompt? Do you have space between your thoughts?
No. Have you ever tried to do, I just figured out that there's types of person and personality. Yeah.
Type A.
Yeah. So I'm like more, I am anxious. I am like, I need to be doing something instead of just sitting and watch. I can't. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that I can't do it. So yeah, as you say, like you get an assignment when I'm struggling to do it. I know that I need to stop and like think. There's a kind of Pomodoro strategy that you like study for 20 minutes and then pause for 5, this kind of stuff. I'm trying to get there, but I can't. I really like go deep on it, and then I have to solve it. I don't like things that I do not understand, because I will be there until I get it. So I understand what you say, because I'm more like energetic. So my mind's working all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm more of a type B person. I'm not a big planner. I mean, for big things in life, yes. But like my sister gets upset at me. Like I'm like the typical younger sister, older sister dynamic. Like when we're at the airport, my mind shuts off. She's like, "Do you have your passport? Do you have this?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I think." But even then, as being a type B, I still like my mind is racing, which I know that sounds like a contradiction. However, it's true. I don't know. It's interesting. I think being a college student and a high school student, a student in general, it's so hard. You're balancing so many things, like school, work, social life, romantic life, if that's a thing. And I don't know, everything. It's hard to kind of just like sit still. There's always something to do. But yeah, okay, thank you. We're gonna do them. You have 2 more cards to choose from.
How can you use your major or field of study to make an impact in your community? That's
a good
interesting
question.
because we were talking about that, right? I personally want to be a diplomat. So I decided to be a diplomat in order to improve my home country.
And you are from?
Brazil. But in a way, not just my home country. So I choose to be a diplomat in order to improve Brazil with other countries and their dealing, because I really believe that you doing deals with other countries can improve a whole world instead of just one. I think if you are cooperating with others, you can get in a better solution than trying to get it by yourself. There is a phrase that say like, if you want to get there faster, go alone. But if you want to get there in a better way, go together with others. And I believe that you cannot find solutions for a long time if you're alone. I think you need other perspectives, and that's why I chose this field. So yeah, I hope to create a better community and world focusing on education, because I really believe that education is the change of the world. I personally believe. Just share very quick here. I decided this because my parents couldn't finish high school or even elementary school, and they gave me the opportunity to study here. And then I want to use that to change their home community. So giving other childs and future teenagers and future change makers the opportunity that I have to be here. I think that's important. Education is the most important thing to change world and history.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And that is super impactful. I'm excited to see your journey and how you plan to accomplish that. Bryce, I'd love to know for you as well. Well, Bryce is a high school student, aspiring. You're gonna enter college. He's in his process right now of applying. So can you tell us your major and how you would plan to make an impact or hope?
Okay, so my intended major is business. I'd like to major in business administration or management, and I would use that to be the leader that our communities need to see today. And I just feel like there's not enough passionate people who care type of leaders in our communities that actually like want to grow and change with the environment and not just stay stuck in some old ways that a business model tells you to be like. So that's really why I want to, that's how I would use my major to help my community and just be that person that actually cares, because people at the top don't consider the needs at the people at the very bottom of like their work institution, right? Mm-hmm. Like they get complaints, but what do they really do about them? And that's kind of where I align with, like, if I'm working in a place, the values matter most than what any work that I'm doing in whatever work environment that I'm in. Like that's what would really matter to me. Like how are the managers, right? If the managers suck, then I don't want to be there, right? It doesn't really matter what job it is. Like that's just, so then that's why I take it into consideration about trying to be that person in like management that can come right, so.
Yeah. I just would like to highlight here, like I chose the large scale, but I really believe that people can do great things in small scale as well. You can do change with whatever you have on hands. Just the willing to do it is already a big thing. So you don't have to be a diplomat to do anything. I think you can being a business owner and doing our own community can be so greater than being around the world doing something.
Of course. And I'm going to agree with you on that. And I remember Mark McNerney, he is the president and CEO of the Central Florida Pledge. And to give a little context for those who aren't too familiar with Phoenix Generation, we're a student youth-led movement, a breakout movement of the Central Florida Pledge, which is a commitment to disbanding hate in the community on all levels, whether that's anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, homophobia, racism. And I remember I was having a conversation with Mark and Lua, and they were saying that they had a decision to make whether they wanted to make Phoenix Generation go across all of Florida or whether to stay inside Central Florida and the local high school and colleges. And they decided ultimately that they wanted to stay kind of more focused on this area because they want their impact not to be maybe so wide, but to be very deep and to be narrow. And I think that plays into it, like small impact matters so much. And they chose to maybe keep it smaller, although they had opportunities to branch out. But they're like, you know what? We're going to invest in this community and we're going to make great change. And I don't know to our viewers if you've been following us, but our high school and college students have been putting on amazing programs and we're impacting people. People want impact and they crave involvement. And I don't know, all this to say that I agree. I agree 100%. My major is international relations. It's so crazy because we were having this conversation off camera right before we started to film. I'm international relations, initially wanted to pursue diplomacy, similar to Nicole. However, working with Phoenix Generation has made me like have a more affinity towards conflict resolution. And I have decided to pursue policy analysis. I don't think I want to do international anymore, maybe more so domestic and local. But I'm hoping to make an impact in my communities and change policies, a more direct approach. But yeah, so that's what I will be doing. Yeah.
Oh, wait, last card.
Yes, last card. Sorry, Susan, give it.
All right. What is a community-based organization you wish people knew more about? Phoenix Generation. Really? And essential for the pledge as well. But like you were just saying, we come hand in hand because we align with the same goals and values. So essential for the pledge. Like if people knew more about what we do and why we do it, we would have definitely more of a following base for sure. Because I think people need to know that there are good organizations out there that support diversity and different ways of like tackling situations. Everything we do as a whole. Like, I think it's important for people to know that communities like this exist. Sure.
100%. I mean, I go to UCF and we table on campus for Phoenix Generation and the pledge. And I have students come up when we are tabling and we tell them our mission, we tell them our affiliations with the pledge, that we are dialogue across differences on campuses to create space for people of all different perspectives to come together. And no matter what the affiliation is, typically, I mean, that's in a political sense, because that's what's most relevant right now. People just like, thank you for doing this work. How do I get involved? And it's so refreshing because I feel like sometimes as a generation, we're so unserious. And so we don't really talk about important conversations. But it's so affirming to hear other peers come up to us and be like, you know what? I've been looking for this. Thank you. And that's all we want, community. And I don't think no matter what you're political, whether you're left leaning or right leaning, I think one thing that both sides can agree on is that we need free speech. We need places where people can talk about how they feel, of course, in a respectful manner. And they're not shunned, or we need empathy. We need like to understand where people are coming from, because at the end of the day, everyone has a story and reasons why they believe things. So I don't know. I think Phoenix Generation definitely deserves that recognition. And I think not only recognition, but people deserve to know about it so they have a community to be a part of. So we welcome everyone.
Yeah, 100%. And I just would like to highlight that recently we had our conference, right? The leaderships will be meet. Do you want to talk more about that before? Yeah, okay. So we had our leaderships to be meet that we are going to have next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next year, November, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this was an incredible thing because many people from high schools, college, universities were there. And we were tabling, right, with them. And one thing that I heard a lot is that they want to do something. They had sometimes ideas for to do it, but they don't see someone like to be behind them and giving support. Mm-hmm. And that's how I see what Phoenix Generation do here. Like they give you support and the tools for you to make your idea real and actually put on hands, taking out a dream and creating it a reality. Mm-hmm. And so I myself saw myself wanting to make a difference in community and everything. And that's what Phoenix Generation did with me. Like they gave me support, ideas, an advisor, amazing advisor, Lua. So, and peers to work together. So here's the place for you to real make change, not because they are going to give you the idea, but because they are going to give you the sense for you to think, what do you think you need to do in your community? Like they really make you think about, not just like, oh, let's create a lot of projects. No, they need to have a reason for it.
Yeah. No, thank you. And thank you for bringing the leadership summit up. Not to make this super Phoenix Generation, but it deserves to be talked about. I mean, we did at our recent summit, we took different tables per high school and college, like Nicole was saying. And after a long day of talking about leadership and community involvement, we didn't just stop there. We sat down, took the time to get people in their own community together and brainstorm ideas on how to make impactful change on their campus. And UCF, actually, we're following up. Some of the academic advisors that attended sent out an email saying, look, we want to continue these discussions. We're going to host an event at this date. We're going to bring all the students who were there. If you'd like to come, please join us. And we're going to talk about how to implement these initiatives. And I think that's sick. I mean, like, you don't really hear that too often. And to all of our Central Florida high schoolers or our Central Florida college students, we want you to be a part of us. And we would love to hear your ideas. And to those who aren't, your contributions are still meaningful. Not to shamelessly plug for like the last couple of minutes, but it's important work that everyone is doing and it deserves to be highlighted.
And it's serious, right?
Yeah.
It's a serious work. It's like sometimes because you think we were talking about this before, how Gen Z is being seen today, but it's real like students that want to do that. They are there to do that and make a change. It's not like, oh, I just want to do. No, they really want to, and there is a reason for it. So having someone that really think with the students and giving their support and helping them to figure out what they're going to do, why they're going to do, see the weak parts of the projects to make it stronger, it's important. That support is the most important thing, because dreams can die if you do not someone to making them reality. That's what I believe.
Yeah, thank you for that. And like we're discussing here Phoenix Generation, but even if you're not in Orlando, you're not a student, it doesn't take much to have dialogue across differences. Like you can still implement these things into your own community and still, like you were saying, small impact is still impact.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you guys get some ideas. But we are all out of cards. Unfortunately, we're all out. So this is the end of our card game, Speak Your Truth. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Bryce, for being here. And yeah, do you guys have any closing comments?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. For sure.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We are at the end here. Please tune in to our future episodes. And we'll see you next time. Bye.